just up the sidewalk here on the campus of the University of Mary, in our Beck Studios. It is Jordan Lowry and Brent Borkus. So UMary tries to get back on the right track. A 9-point deficit here in half number 2. They were down 6-7 at varying times in that MSU game yesterday and managed to erase it. So, see if there's some deja vu here to close out the weekend series. Krecklow, first play, blocked. I don't know how Parker Fox got that, but he did. White kicks, sights, shoots. And the well remains dry for the Marauders. Krecklow playing a good chunk of that first half with those 2 fouls. Never picked up the third. So he gets back to a healthy pace here for UMary.
The added benefit of Northern playing so deliberately on offense is they don't play a deep bench.
Yeah.
They have their 5 guys and they roll with them.
The bad news is that all 5 of those guys are absolutely rolling right now as Mason Stark converts on that one. Yeah, we'll see Dominovic a little bit. Dahl's the 6th man. But after that, you're talking about a few minutes per game for everybody else. It's an interesting strategy. You think it starts to wear on a team down the stretch when you've got that short a bench?
Well, it depends. If you're able to stay healthy, then you're okay. But at the same time, I totally understand the idea behind not wanting to take your best players off the floor either. So, I think it becomes probably a bigger issue when we get to the conference tournament and you're playing 3, 4, 5 games right in a row. That's where it could be a problem. But, if this is what they have on their team, this is what they have. They just have to find a way to play the best way that they can play.
A lot of young guys getting some valuable minutes, too. That's a lay-in from Connor Hellebus, but he charged.
Normally we see Parker Fox blocking that shot. That time he decided to take the charge. Impressive job getting outside of the restricted area.
That's perfect, and he gets this NSU team fired up. 2 steps right outside the arc and perfect execution for the Wolves.
That just shows you how bad he wants to win, taking charges with a broken nose.
Yeah. And your team up 12. No doubt Saul Phillips has gotten some buy-in from these Wolves here in year number 1. Chapman, too much height on the way. Krecklow's battling underneath, see if UMary can get it to him. For now, it's White on the wing. Here is Krecklow. Drives, baseline. Squares up and gets 2.
A really tough finish from Matt Krecklow. Northern State even got part of the ball and he's still able to finish. Although not much movement for University of Mary on offense, a little too much standing. You'd like to see some more movement, even if it is dummy movement. They have to get Northern State moving on D.
A Mary high 12 as the runner falls for Mason Stark. Sipes getting the nod early in this half. Certainly representative of what he did in the opening stanza with those 8 points. Krecklow's jumper winds up with Stark. Northern just executing their offense, locating King. He does not start the second half at the blistering pace.
A 10 or 12 point lead in most games may not be that big of a problem, but against Northern State, it's a much bigger problem because there's just going to be fewer possessions in this game. I mean, Northern State has taken the shot clock down almost the whole way, every single possession. They're getting good shots. University of Mary isn't getting out in transition spot. It puts Matt Krecklow in a tough spot, and last night was largely the same case, and he came away with 25 points.
Yeah. Sure enough, he gets going that time.
There you go.
Spent all of last night talking about the adjustments on Krecklow. Do they double? When? So far in this game, Krecklow's fought for him, but Northern, it seems like they've had 2 bodies around him pretty much every time.
Yeah, they're doing a really kind of a combination of just playing Parker Fox on him and then just bringing a smart help whenever they can.
Now it's Carr battling underneath. They go to Wyatt. kicks it. Kreklo, mega distance 2. Would have needed an extra step in, and the foul ensures possessions with Northern.
But I did like that look of Carr getting a catch on the post. That's his strength. When bigger players on him, he can take them outside. When smaller players are on him, he can take them in the post. Right now, he has a smaller player on him. Probably not too accustomed to playing post defense. I'd like to see them go back to that look.
I'd like to see them go to Wyatt, I think, period, at this point. Just the one shot, and obviously was great last night. Career high in points. Had 12 off the bench last year against Northern, so a guy who can get it done, but simply hasn't seen the usage as Starkberry's another.
And right now, you know, even if they are going to have some success on the offensive end, they're pretty much just trading buckets at this point. They need stops and scores.
Carr up top, feeds Kreklo, and they tag Parker Fox on the issue. .42 on the board. UMary trying to come back. Northern State taking their show on the road, up 13 here in Bismarck. A team that's nearly impossible to beat at home. The attendance leader in Division II basketball. Tough to win in Aberdeen, and it's really a good spot for Northern too. You're kind of in that perfect nexus where you can pull a little bit from North Dakota. Obviously, you've got your home state in South Dakota. Minnesota's the talent factory, and it's not very far from Aberdeen.
Yeah, and they have the culture and the history, and you know their program attracts the right type of player. It attracts a player that just loves basketball, doesn't love all the ancillary stuff, and just wants to focus on basketball in school.
First for Johnny Turner. Speaking of the Minnesota Talent Factory, the Twin Cities native has his first of the day. 7 points last night against the Dragons.
And not only 7 points, but he drew the big defensive assignments all down the stretch, especially in the second half.
Did a really nice job in his home conference debut, as the turnaround floater is good for Jordan Velka.
And a strong move. You don't see Matt Kreklo moved off the spot very often.
The sophomore getting his first shot and converting for Northern. Both teams starting to turn to some new faces here down the stretch. Trying to locate Kreklo.
And that's when I think Trevor Kaiser is just going to have to get comfortable with shooting. He may not have been wide open, but he was probably open enough in a game like this. They're going to have to knock down some of those to get back in this game.
Along the baseline, trying to spin it along the glass. Offensive rebound. Gabe King's three is good.
And, of course, the ball bounces right out to Gabe King, right at the spot that he loves to shoot. It's just been that kind of night for Northern State.
21 points for number 21. Turner again trying to work Kreklo. Look at our first jump. Possession arrows pointing the other way as UMary prepares to make a wholesale sub.
And we talked about the hands of Northern State throughout the course of tonight. How many times have we seen University of UMary not only get the ball stripped, but try to pass it through the paint? They've had success on virtually none of those plays.
That's another example, too, where you know the guys have in the back of their head, all right, I want to get this ball to Kreklo. And independent of what they see, they try and get it to Matt. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't.
And it's so tempting because you see his defender helping up the floor a little bit. And usually when you see that defender help up the floor, that's a green light to throw that pass. But Northern State's been able to tip just about every single one of those.
A team that certainly watched, learned, listened, understands in this Northern group. well aware of Matt Kreklow's 25 last night. Inside the elbow, in and out. Alaba slipping and falling. And Northern gets the timeout. So credit them with another takeaway. We step aside with the Wolves prowling. Dangerous spot now for the Marauders.
For this press, they send it out to Jones in the front court. Cross lane pass. Schnabel takes it on the right block. Fades away. Shot is good. Madison Schnabel.
Had since then. The front end does not go, but the offensive rebound is put back. It's Cole Carrick with 1.7 seconds left.
Today's broadcast in high definition is presented by the following. Finley Engineering. Finley Engineering. Integrity into everything. NISC. NISC delivering information technology solutions and services that are member and customer focused, quality driven, and value priced. Beck Fiber. Beck Fiber is essential to the long-term viability of your home and lifestyle. Nothing is faster than a fiber optic network, especially when it connects directly to your home.
The game brought to us by Farmers Union Insurance, as well as Dakota Community Bank and Trust, West Dakota Chevy, and Bell Bank, along with the University of Mary. It is the Marauders starting to reach the point in this game where if there is to be a comeback, you have to get going.
Absolutely. This is the danger zone. We talked earlier about there's going to be fewer possessions in this game.
And nearly erased a 15-point deficit last year, as that's two more if formations start.
And a really nice set play by Saul Phillips out of the timeout there. Easy 2 points.
UMary didn't win that game. They got it down to 2, but couldn't overcome it. And Northern wound up clinching the NSIC North in that game. So UMary perhaps trying to get some revenge, seeing the success right in front of them, but Northern simply has not opened any doors for it.
Again, the continuity of Northern's offense versus University of Mary's offense has really been the story of the game tonight. Northern State's always under control. They always know what they want. They know how to get it. They just methodically go about getting to that point. And now University of Mary is kind of guessing.
And so much of it, too, simply has to be credit to Northern, the game they've played. You knew they were going to come in and execute. They don't make mistakes. Again, the assist to turnover, best in the conference. And that field goal percentage still north of 50. You're just not going to beat a lot of teams when they shoot like that.
They just don't get, they have like a very little margin of error. Every team that plays them has that, I should say.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, it really affects what the opponent's able to do on offense, because there's just, there's so few possessions and there's so little opportunities in transition.
Northern dominating this series the last few years. Before that, it was a bunch of splits. 2014, 2015, 2016. UMary managed to take one of two. Unable to change that recently. It's funny, the last time they won it was 2016. Looking back at the game logs, you see a name like Marquellis Edwards, and I had to sit back and smile. One of the elite dunkers we've seen in the Division II ranks.
Absolutely, and I think it's important to point out that, the things that we're seeing happening to Mary tonight happen to a lot of teams in this conference.
Speaking of dunkers, there is the conference record high jumper, Parker Fox, for Northern. Straight away, Sipes unable to find. Northern starting to run away with it now. UMary on the ropes, but not out. Baseline taken away, but a foul will halt the Northern run.
And Justin Ng's been aggressive tonight. Normally we've seen when he gets some playing time, it's usually three-pointers and rebounding and a little defense. But he's doing a nice job of putting the ball on the floor tonight. He's a nice, well-rounded player that kind of has some sporadic playing time, but he's maybe proving that he earns a little bit more going forward after this.
Some other scores from across the Northern Sun. Augie's up on Bemidji State by 4, 69-65 with about 5 to go. Minot State is giving the Dragons a battle as the three-point shot is good. And a grimace over on the Northern State side as Jordan buries it. Wayne State's down 7 to Crookston. USF up by 8. About 18:05 to go against St. Cloud. Upper Iowa is down 10 to Minnesota State. And Duluth up 5 against Southwest. Elbow, good for Jalen White.
Great job by Jalen White recognizing the switch. He had a big on him. University of Mary bringing out some dummy pressure really right now. It's just more or less designed to help speed up Northern State to try to get them play a little faster. We saw a quicker shot last time down.
5 points for Jalen White. And there aren't going to be a lot of really great UMary game strips when Jalen White's under probably 10.
Yeah, they just don't have that margin of error. You know, they need Connor Hellebus, Jalen White, Matt Krecklow, and probably Wycar to play well to win in this conference.
You see why, as that's another nice roll there for Fox. The good news for UMary is it's early. Still a whole lot of conference play left. Still a homestand as well for the Marauders as that goes for Reagan Tollefson.
He's been playing tough tonight. He's been playing with confidence. Not often you see a freshman step into a couple of shots like that when a guy like Parker Fox is guarding him.
Regan's look good. He buries that one. He'll take it on the other side. 9:12 to go. Wolves in control. Just over 9 remaining in the ball game. A wildly successful weekend for the University of Mary women's team. However, on the guys' side, the heartbreaking defeat from last night. And I think at this point it'd be fair to say there's a bit, but now on the lesser end of a couple of whistles with Wyatt Carr starting to uptick.
You know, Wyatt Carr is really kind of an interesting player. When he's on the court, the offensive efficiency of the entire University of Mary team dramatically goes up. He's the key catalyst for that. But it's almost like he almost becomes too passive because he's a little too concerned about getting everybody else the ball. And it's like he's almost selfish because he's so unselfish.
Right.
At some point, it's like, okay, we need you to get up 4 threes a game. We want you to shoot 4 free throws a game. Let's make sure we check those boxes every single game because he's a good player. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget about that.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got 3 shots today. That's significantly less than you would think, and he's earned throughout his career here at UMary. Stark loads up the 3, off to the right. Jalen White's going to be looking to push every single possession now, as he must for UMary. From the left elbow, Turner was fighting, couldn't come away with it.
And he had Carr on the pop, but just couldn't find him.
Just been one of those games. If the result holds, you just put it behind you. But right now at 13, still a shot for Mary. And they continue to force turnovers here down the stretch. Mason Stark shuffles the feet.
University of Mary is hanging around. We talked about dividing up that nice lead that Northern State had. If it gets to 10 with 5 minutes left, we still have a game. Plenty of things can happen. But they need to keep chipping away here.
The question's not necessarily defensive, though that's important. Where do the buckets come from? Jordan loads up and drains it.
And again, Wyatt Carr's aggressiveness drew the defense and set up Glenn Jordan nicely on that play.
It is down to 10. Timeout called by Northern States. The University of Mary. Not done yet.
This presentation on the Beck Sports Network is presented by the following. Bell Bank, member FDIC. Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Farmers Union Insurance. West Dakota Chevy Dealers. The University of Mary. Today's broadcast in high definition is presented by the following. Finley Engineering. Finley Engineering. Integrity into everything. NISC. NISC delivering information technology solutions and services that are member and customer focused, quality driven, and value priced. Beck Fiber. Beck Fiber is essential to the long-term viability of your home and lifestyle. Nothing is faster than a fiber optic network, especially when it connects directly to your home.
The lead was once 22, 60-38. A 16-4 swing for the University of Mary.
And Northern was always deliberate on offense, but they may be a little too deliberate. I understand the theory with wanting to use the whole shot clock, but you don't want to sacrifice aggressiveness. You don't want to sacrifice what got you to this point.
I feel like if there was probably another 5 minutes, UMary would really be in the driver's seat, but now every possession critically important for the orange and blue. Long two, no good, Carr's right there. Glenn's been the guy, he locates, White. Recklow fighting, nice job, and a block. Timely defense for Gabe King to get to Johnny Turner. The whistle came and they indicated it was against Carr.
I thought delay a game. I thought there was an issue with the shot clock. But
yeah. That's what the 22 was. Clock, and they set it to 22. Not the 22 on Carr's chest. Count it. And one for the Wolves.
Sort of a goofy break in the game. University of Mary losing a little momentum, maybe a little focus on that play. Allowed Stark to get to his spot. Stark's always under control, no matter where he is. He's always under control. He's always jump stopping. He's always making the right read.
He's right at his season average of 15 a game. And now he's above it with 16. A game winner last night with 5.2 seconds left. We're out to a 24-point finish, a season high, as Krecklow will head back to the line.
And University of Mary has the convenience of being able to still go into the post because they're in the bonus here. That allows them to sub, that allows them to communicate, flip defenses, things like that. They're not to the point where they need to be forcing threes.
Krecklow good on the first. UMary leading this game in free throws attempted and percentage. They've hit 14 of their 17 in large part because of Matt Krecklow. get that lead down to single digits would certainly be a mental gap here in this Final Four. Tough jumper, corralled by Northern, and once again the foul will bring a stop as Gabe King.
King and Carr were battling, got tangled up a little bit, sort of an awkward play. Foul goes against Carr.
The fourth against Carr. So at this point, it probably doesn't really matter. You want your top players out there here in this final stretch.
Yep, never thought of taking them out of this game.
Again to single digits on the shot clock. Chapman attacks and lays it in.
And what a nice job of avoiding the defender, splitting the defense.
White to Carr. Wyatt drives baseline, was thinking about a reverse, and he's fouled.
Pretty good job by Parker Fox, using the right to verticality to guard the rim there, but the official saying that right at the last second he turned a little bit. That caused the foul, and that'll be Parker Fox's last play tonight.
His 5, he's done. Coach Phillips not happy about it. He's replaced by Belka. Saul Phillips says, I can't teach it any better than that. Of course, referring to exactly what you're saying. Go straight up and you're allowed to have it.
Yeah, I think Saul's argument is that he was going straight up and then the contact forced him to turn, which may or may not be true. You know, it's a difficult play. It's the hardest play in basketball to officiate.
A 1 of 2 trip. Krecklow extends it. White slicing. Galen has too much behind it, and the foul ensures it goes Northern way. And we'll walk it down the length of the court with 7 on UMary. So right as the Marauders start to pepper from the free throw line, Northern gets their chance.
And maybe most importantly, now Northern State's also in the bonus. University of Mary can't foul anymore. They're going to have to play this one straight up.
Allman will miss the front end, though. Haven't seen that. It opens the door a bit for the Marauders. Still in desperate need of points. Locating Jalen's shot. Not there.
Just that sort of night for University of Mary. Every time they're about to get a little traction, if they can knock down 1 or 2 shots in a row, just have not been able to do it.
It's going to let Northern take this to about 2:30. One too many steps for Chapman. He got tied up and then went to try and pass.
Simple switch to fifth foot.
A reminder that we will be right back here at the McDowell Activities Center less than a week from today. The Minot State Series for the University of Mary coming up here on Beck Sports. The Big Lake rivalry renewed. 2 men's teams looking to try and get a really important NSIC victory. Meanwhile, it'll be a UMary women's team that is going to try and continue a very impressive role.
Yeah, what a weekend for the University of Mary's women. Winning 2 completely different ways.
Yeah.
Showing signs of being a conference championship contender team.
And ultimately beating 2 very good teams as well.
Absolutely.
A lot to look forward to for Coach Newman's squad as they will try and extend the winning streak on Beck Sports. Just 2 on the shot clock. King lets it rip right at Stark. The rebounds have found Northern when they've needed to. UMary's got the edge in offensive rebounds, but those pivotal ones, whether it's Stark to wind up for a jumper or more importantly, it just tends to roll to the corner and find King for a 3. it's gone Northern way.
Yeah, University of Mary has kept it within an arm's reach this entire game. They just can't get over the hump.
Touches every part of the rim and goes for Mason Stark. Northern State on the doorstep of 4-1 in Northern Sun play. Once again, a serious contender for an NSIC title here in 2019.
You know, coaches change, players change. The one thing doesn't is Northern State on top of the Northern Sun. They're going to be right there every year. Doesn't matter what the variables are. They're a true program, not just a team.
The model of consistency as White draws the contact on Chapman. That's the 5th on Tommy, so his day is done, relieved by Cole Dahl.
It's interesting to see 2 guys from Northern State fall out. I wouldn't have put money on that just with how solid they are on the defensive end. They do a good job of playing defense without falling, generally speaking. It's just been kind of one of those odd games tonight.
Marauders have reached the double bonus in both halves now, but hasn't resulted in a lot. And I guess to Northern's credit, even on a day when they do commit more fouls than they're used to, they haven't come at really big spots in the game. Some pressure here for UMary. Northern quickly across the timeline. A very full week of athletics for us across the Beck family of networks. Be sure to check out becksports.com. A full schedule as well as the live stream, that Watch Now button right down on the bottom. If you want to see anything on our Beck Sports channel, that's our statewide offering. White preserved a couple of seconds. Kreklo to Carr.
Seems like Coach Patel's pulled off the Dogs now. They're not necessarily trying to rush or foul or shoot threes. We're just going to play this one out.
The final 42 seconds to an 8-3 start for the Wolves of Northern State. Now winners of 4 ball games in a row. UMary on the opposite end of that streak right now. They do get the out-of-conference game to try and get it right, as again, why not for Jordan Belka. Shot clock is off.
Just like we've seen all night, another great possession, patient, got the shot they want, shot it in rhythm. The outcome's predictable.
One for the road for UMary. And that is how it will end. A tremendous game for the Wolves of Northern State, led by number 21, Gabe King, and his 21 points. A phenomenal performance for him. And it puts Northern on the path to NSIC supremacy.